Hello, Róisín.
Hello.
Welcome to France.
Thank you.
Welcome to the bubble armchair. So we're gonna talk about your next album, which is your second solo album.
It is, yeah.
It's called Overpowered. And what is your secret to get the superpower and get overpowered gift or? Is it
overpowered
music?
meaning, oh God, overpowered kind of means overwhelmed, out of control, out of not being able to control the situation. And being creative is a bit like that. You know, you have to allow yourself to be out of control to do anything really of any worth, I think. You can't control everything, and you have to allow yourself to give yourself up to the song God when you're writing, or the performer God when you're on stage, or it becomes, at best, not about you.
This album, there's a huge casting. It sounds like a movie, you know. There's a lot of producers. You did it in several cities with several musicians, and in the past it was always a process with a duo. You work as a duo,
yeah.
With Mark Bryden, with Moloko, and Herbert. And this is the first time that you work with such a diverse identities. So how do you manage to find a kind of unity?
I think it's easier in a way for me to make exactly the kind of record, or close to exactly the kind of record that I wanted to make in this way than it is with just one other person. In this record I worked with, I don't know, 15, 20 people, I guess, producers and mixers and writers and people like that, even string arrangements and things like that. So, but at every stage I have a choice, like it either has got to where I want it to go, or it needs to go somewhere else to get to where I want it to go. So I'm not dependent on anybody else's taste as such. I can pick and choose how I want the production to go and what energy I need from it. So something like Movie Star I wrote with Seiji in London, and then I tried a mix in Miami that didn't work. Then I come back and I redid the song again with another producer. I didn't think it was quite right. Then I sent it to Sheffield and they did additional production on the original production. That was perfect for me. And then I got a mix from Tom Elmhurst, and then Tom would like, because actually the new production is a little bit, the additional production that came from Sheffield is a little bit industrial, a little bit dance, a little bit linear, you know, a bit Suicide, you know, the band Suicide, a little bit like that. And Tom's an amazing mixer, but he's not really mad into dance music. So he did a mix, and it wasn't like linear enough. So I could make him mix it again, you know. Whereas when I'm working with Matthew or with Mark in Moloko, you kind of, although I did say what I wanted a lot of the time, but you kind of more so get what you're given. You get what they want to do themselves, and you can't really sort of say, if they really feel strongly about something, you can't say, in the end you can't say, well, I disagree, so therefore it's going to be different to this. You have to go with it. You have to trust them and their creativity. Whereas, and also with one other person, it's a little bit like an experiment. So if you're writing, producing, editing, mixing, everything just with one other person, it's a bit more like what happens when you put Matthew Herbert and Róisín Murphy together in the studio. What do you get? Whereas with this record I had to decide from the outset what kind of record I wanted to make, and that was a disco record. I wanted to make a disco record before I started making it, and I had to stick to that plan all the way along. And to keep unity, simple things as well, like I did a clever thing in that I bought a microphone at the beginning of the project. I bought the same microphone as Mariah Carey uses, which is probably the most expensive mic you can buy. But it's not because it was expensive. We tried out, Seiji helped me with this, we tried out like 4 or 5 different mics in one day, and it was the best mic for my voice. So I brought that with me everywhere I went, and that created a kind of unity, at least in the vocal sound.
It's called overpowered, but it doesn't sound overproduced. You know what I mean?
Good.
It sounds, you said it's a disco record, but it's stripped to the rhythm, the bass line, and the chords, and we can feel that it's something organic, you know, and in a way really direct. Do you feel it like that?
I tried to maintain a naivety within it, and I think it was necessary to keep that in mind. It sounds like a contradiction to try to be naive, because obviously naivety comes naturally. But I did try to keep it as naive as possible. I tried to keep the messages as simple as possible, and literally in the voice as well. I tried to keep the voice naive and young and fresh on this record. But obviously, naivety is different to simplicity. Naivety has maybe a question behind it. What happens to the naive? So in the lyrics, there's some darkness too. There is.
It started with some really intimistic lyrics and topics, and intimate.
Yeah.
And then it ends with a kind of love song for your father.
From father, yeah.
It's quite personal. Is it the first time that you?
It's universal, though.
Yeah. You reveal yourself like that. Is it the first time? And was it easy to do it?
It's not hard for me to reveal myself. I've got nothing to be, secretive about. As you know, lots of girls love their daddy. So
I know that.
on the song Scarlet Ribbons, hopefully, yes, it is a personal song, but it's a universal kind of personal song, if you like. So no, it's not hard for me. I don't think it's as intimate as maybe you think it is, because the record's a balance, and every record I've made is a balance between my imagination and the reality of the way things are for me emotionally.